Hey guys, NS55 here, and I'm back once again, and yeah, I should have said that since 2 weeks ago, but that's besides the point. Today, I'm gonna be counting down my first ever top 5, and what I'm gonna be talking about for this list are arcade games, in which deserve to be released on consoles. A perfect example for an arcade game which had its console port would have to be Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, F355 Challenge, and much more. But thank goodness that arcade games that we loved had its own console port. But why can't other games do that? Well, let's get to it. This is my top 5 arcade games to port to console. Keep in mind that this list is my opinion, and I hope you enjoy it. So without further ado, let's get started. Number 5. Sega Super GT. Known outside of North America, it was known as Scud Race. And what does Scud mean, you might ask? Sports Car Ultimate Drive. Sega Super GT is a racing game developed by Sega AM2, and sure, the game is very much like Daytona USA, but it's more of a circuit racing than a stock car or NASCAR racing, but whatever. It's a racing game in which deserved to have a console port. In fact, the game was originally going to be released on Sega Saturn, then moved to Dreamcast, but unfortunately, the Dreamcast version was cancelled. Although, if there was a Dreamcast version, or if there was an HD remastered version, like how they did with Daytona USA, then that would be great. It's a shame that they never got this game released on Dreamcast, but the question remains, does it have to do with the licensing issues with Porsche? Only time will tell. Number 4. Dead Heat. An arcade racing game developed by Namco, in which Namco was known for the Ridge Racer series. In fact, the game is pretty much similar to Ridge Racer, but with licensed cars and real environmental tracks. The game is not only intense, but focuses on a head-to-head competition when it comes to the thrill of racing. The graphics are amazing, and the game truly deserves to be released on PlayStation Network and Xbox Live. I hope that this intense racing game will have online multiplayer, and hopefully release on consoles. Number 3. Operation Ghost. A lock-on shooter game by Sega where you play as a high-class Special Force agent and where you take down criminals and stop the terrorism in order to protect the world. The game is also a sequel to Ghost Squad, and speaking of Ghost Squad, it had its console port which was released on Nintendo Wii. But why couldn't they do it for Operation Ghost? Why not just release it on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One? Well, who knows. Number 2. Wangon Midnight Maximum Tune. Based on the manga and the anime, Wangon Midnight Maximum Tune is a highway racing game that is very similar to Tokyo Extreme Racer. The game is developed by Namco, yes, the developer of Dead Heat. It's a racing game in which has a story. When you start the game, you normally choose a stock car, and no, not that stock car. I meant a stock car with stock parts. And when you progress the game further, you'll be able to earn new parts and new customization options, which is cool, and this game should definitely release it on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, along with its additional features like online multiplayer, more cars, more tracks, and everything that it has to offer. Please Namco, when are we gonna have Maximum Tune released on consoles? Now before we get to number 1, here are my honorable mentions. Nicktoons Nitro, Club Kart, Brave Firefighters, Cartoons Ultimate Street Racing, Rambo, Batman. Now that I showed you my honorable mentions, let's get into number 1. Number 1, Fast and Furious Supercars, a racing game that I always wanted to port to console. Believe it or not, this is actually one of my favorite arcade games that I've ever played. The game is developed by Rothrails, and it is actually the third Fast and Furious arcade game ever released. The game is very similar to Cruisin', and speaking of Cruisin', did you know that there was a console port of the Fast and the Furious arcade for the Wii entitled Cruisin'? Considering the fact that the game is entitled Cruisin', the console version removes all of the licenses of Fast and Furious. If it was called the Fast and the Furious, the arcade game, having its Fast and Furious license, then that would have been better. But anyways, Fast and Furious Supercars is a fun and exciting racing game with its good graphics, good sense of speed, good cars, and good locations. This game truly deserves to port to console by releasing this game on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. Why not have all the cars and tracks that were from all three games and just call it Fast and Furious the arcade game? And why not have more cars and more tracks and more features, and especially online multiplayer? All of that would be terrific and superb. If they just do that, then they might as well do it. So yeah, there you have it. This is my top 5 arcade games that need to port to console. So let's hope that Sega, Namco, Rothrails, and all of the other publishers can port their games to consoles. So with that being said, thanks for watching my first ever top 5 list. And be sure to like, comment, share, and most importantly, subscribe. This is NS55 here, and I'll see you at the next video. NS55 here, signing out.